Welcome on board.
Hi, are you my pilot? Are you flying us today? How did you become an airline pilot? You look so young to be an airline pilot. Did you ever get all these questions? Are you old enough to fly a jet?
Are you even old enough to drive?
Are you our pilots? You look too young to be one, you know?
These are the questions that we get asked all the time because of our faces.
Well, technically, faces first, but then in fact, it's also our age as well.
On today's episode, we're gonna talk about ages. Back in the days, airline pilots used to come from the military. So they already had a career, they had a life, and they used to come from the military and make the transition to the commercial airlines.
You're right.
So that's why we're used to see pilots with gray hair and older pilots, most likely in the airlines.
The history of the aviations is like started off with World War One, with all the war, and then they are recruited becoming a pilots in the troops, in the military troops, and then after that, ever since war has ended, so they no longer need such a high demand as in the militaries to fly the fighter jets. So that's why they transitions themselves into commercial pilots.
Exactly.
And that's how we see them walking around in the airports and fly the jets and flying us to our destinations.
So now we talk a little bit how it used to be and why we're used to see gray hair pilots. Now let's go back to what we can see now. Nowadays, there's no World War anymore. Luckily not. Let's keep it that way.
Let's keep it that way, please.
So nowadays, pilots are going straight to the airlines without doing a military career.
So if you think 18 years old is where you can get a driving license, wow. A flight license can get you even at a younger age. 16 years old is where you can be solo.
What's that?
Solo means you can start to fly alone.
Okay.
Once your instructor has been approved and certified, verified that you are proficient enough, then you will be sending for solo. And then 17 years old, you are legally, officially, that you can earn a private pilot license.
Okay.
So you can apply once you finish all the requirements from the FAA, then you meeting all the hours and experience, you are eligible to apply for getting your first flying license, which is, I think, the hardest. Along this journey, I feel private pilots is the hardest license that I ever earned.
I think so, because it's your first check ride. It's your first time doing one of those exams that are super hard.
True.
And it's an oral exam too.
Yeah.
Which you're not used to those. Like you're always, the normal thing is a paper and some pen and then
Written test.
you just do it. But no, this one is one by one with the examiner and it's your first time doing that.
Yeah.
And also you have to do a practical test.
Correct.
You have to be flying next to the examiner. And you know you're nervous.
This is your zero experience, your fresh first experience of getting the check rides. And normally the check rides will be including oral and practical.
Yes.
And before that, on top of that, you have to finish off a written test too.
Yes.
So you know what? Along this pilot journey, we have been getting test until we are here.
In our case, we had an end of course, which was a pre-check.
Mock check, yeah.
A mock check, right?
Here we go.
They used to make it harder.
Yeah.
Just to make sure you're good enough to go to the check ride with the FAA.
Yeah.
So it was like you finally finished something, but to go to another one, another one.
It's just like how you playing a game and then you're trying to level up, and it never ends.
How do we grade our exams? It's different. You know, when you go to school, it's from A to D or F or from 1 to 10.
4. For my own GPA.
Is it 1 to 4?
Well, if you're in a college degree, then you will be graded
GPA
for
from 1 to 4.
Yeah, 1 to 4.
All right. And then if you got 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, you know.
Yeah.
But here we have 3 outcomes. You pass, you don't pass, or you incomplete. That's it. It sounds like you have to be perfect because it's like you either pass or don't pass, you know?
True.
So it's kind of like you really get nervous for the first time going to a check, right?
Yeah, because there's no middle range. Whether you can be like 80 above or or you have to score 75 above and then you get a grade. All right, you're good to go. No.
So now we talk about a student pilot, which is 16,
Yeah.
private pilot 17.
Yeah, before you
So what's next, Jess?
18 years old is where you are legally, you can apply and earn your first commercial pilot license.
What is that? That means you can fly airlines or
So let me break it down a little bit. Private pilot and commercial pilot is the difference between these two. We used to teach the student is that one, you fly for fun. Another one, you fly to earn money. Right, so you finally get compensated. So by that being said, commercial pilot license is where the first entrance ticket where you can get compensated for flying.
So what can you do with your commercial license? Is it true that you can fly to the airlines?
Not yet.
Or what?
Not yet.
So what can you do?
Basically, in average, when you hit commercial pilot license this stage, you will be roughly about 200 or 250 hours, but that is not enough. In the States, we need to be 1,000 to 1,500 hours before we can be eligible to have an airline interviews and get into an airline and work as an airline pilot. But that is also another thing come by age. 21 years old is where you will be eligible to become a restricted ATP, airline transport pilot. So restricted means you're not sitting on the left side, you're having 3 bars, sitting on the right side and learn.
Are you talking about the pilot or the co-pilot?
The co-pilot, all right, the co-pilot. Learning, all right, a learning journey again. Yep, the level up, but then you're learning, you're starting another learning journey.
Yeah,
to
so
the left side.
the first officer is known as the co-pilot.
Right.
But it's a first officer flying for the airline.
Correct.
And you have to be at least 21 years old. And what would be the requirement to be the real pilot or the
Pilot in command. Here we go.
pilot in command?
That pilot in command is a pilot in stress. Pilot in not stress. Pilot in a haywire. A lot of things that he needs to coordinate.
But this thing about like the real pilot is not a thing because people think that a pilot is the one that flies and the co-pilot is just sitting there, or they don't. Yeah. Both pilots will be flying because both pilots fly, both pilots have the same knowledge, and there's a few differences that one of them will be doing something extra and some things that the other one will be doing.
Correct. The roles.
We'll break those topics later on. How old do you have to be at least to become a captain?
FAA think that at the age of 21, all right, you finally can make a sound decisions, but not constructive enough. So at the age of 23 is that minimum requirement to become a pilot in command, which is the captain for the airlines. And then they believe at that age, you should be able to handle the situations logically, rationally, and also in a timely manner and to the utmost of safety concern for not just the pilots, but also everyone that is in that operations. So that's how FAA came up with all these numbers.
How long did it take you to finish you from where you started to become an airline pilot?
It took me about 6-7 years.
6-7
years.
Okay.
Yeah. So in conclude, like I'm already flying for like 9 or 10 years. Yeah.
Do you think that's an average?
I think we are fairly common
In
routine. In between there. Because you also taking like about 8 years.
Let's see, 2018 to 2023.
Yeah. Five, and then after that we have been collecting our experience and then becoming a baby captains, a fresh captains.
Something that we just want to say, it's like everybody has their own pace.
Correct.
It's not only about the person, but it's also about what's going on in the world. In our case, we had a pandemic in between.
True.
So that really slowed things down for everyone in aviation. Airlines stopped hiring.
Yeah.
people were scared of flying, airports were empty. So, you know, like it could be the pandemic, or it could be something that you were struggling with, or
I will want to cut you off at that point as well. Sorry, but then honestly, if we think it another approach for this pandemic in our career, we have already encountered one of the down in our career, one of the down in our career. But then what's more incoming, which make us a little bit stronger or persevere to make it through.
Yeah, we didn't give up.
Yeah, we didn't give up. That's how. Yeah.
Because of the high demand that we had during the past few years in the US, this is also creating that flight schools push the flight training for a lot of people. So they want you to finish as fast as you can, so you can go to the airlines, which is something that we kind of went through.
Yeah.
There was this high demand of pilots at some point in 2022. And right now it's a little bit of a slowdown, but they're still hiring. It's just a little bit of a slowdown. You know, becoming an airline pilot, it's not because like you turn 21 and you become an airline pilot. No. It depends on many factors.
Yeah. So yeah, it has the up and downs. This journey has been a very dynamic to both of us. If you think about how just now me and Gabriel has been a breakdown, how young you can actually start flying. Since 14, you have been practicing your hand skill, stick and rudder skill, all the way until you are 23. So you have been 9 years practicing your skill. Practice makes perfect. 9 years of up and down, takeoff, landings, and then operational wise. You have been grinding your mind, molding your mind as how to encounter, encounter weather, thunderstorms, crosswind landings, and then also operational wise, how to give a better service to the passengers or make the smooth flow with boarding or maintenance issues or ground crew, rampers, restrictions.
Every day is a day to learn.
Correct. Every day is a day to learn. Yeah, ever since I became a lab student, I was like, oh yeah, there's a lot at the back of the operations to think about how to make the show keep on going if something break down.
Jess, do you have a story maybe that you want to share with us today? Maybe the youngest pilot that you flew with, any fun stories, or maybe an old grumpy guy, or maybe an old funny one, because we have everything.
Last of this step of becoming a captain is you have to get a line check. So which means another very experienced check airman sitting beside you and then monitor how you keep the show running as a pilot, as a captain. So after I finished that line check, I was paired up with a very, he is a Marine Corps safety manager. He is the safety supervisor, and he himself also flying. Yeah, he flew the King Air and then he joined. So he treat this job just as a side job, honestly speaking, because he had quite a high pension wise, very well compensated from the military side. Okay. But then because of his passion of wanted to try how the commercial operations work, so that's why he joined our company as well. And then, by that being said, he has quite a long history of his flying career. Yep. From military until here, commercial. But he himself also a safety supervisor in the military. So I was like, okay, here we go. Maybe another grumpy one. But it was totally opposite. Yeah. I had so much fun, but at the same time, the safety is always what we are looking for to the the utmost priority. We don't usually remember somebody until we really encounter something together in the trip. So we had a diversion because we encountered a wind shear.
In a few words, also it's related also with thunderstorms sometimes. Yeah. So whenever a thunderstorm is coming, you're expecting those crazy winds.
Draft, unstable air. Sorry.
And then those winds that change direction and strength all the time. Those are wind shear. And then for airplanes landing in those type of weather,
not ideal.
It's not the best.
We had talked about it because before we departing, we have already seen that the wind is picking up as much. Because there is a front approaching. So we already expecting that the wind will be picking up when we are at our estimate time arrival. So I have briefed him. Once you get the most updated weather information, if we exceeded certain knots, then it's gonna be exceeding our limits, the airplane limits. So we can no longer safely land it there and we need to find a way out. We have talked about all the strategy, all the plan A, B, C. Yeah. So he knows what I will be doing. And then, as soon as we get in there, yes, we way before I started off the approach, we are just at the arrival. I have already seen the plane struggling. I had the autopilot maintaining all the way to final. And then I disconnected the autopilot and fly myself to try to keep it much more stable with higher energy. But at the end, we still encounter wind shear. So that's why I told that first officer and I told him that, if 30 minutes prior before we arrival, nobody has making into the airport and we are the first one, no point of us risking around already because we have encountered the unstable from arrival and all the way to approach and I encountered that wind shear. So no point of risking again and burning. Yeah. So we live and then we go to our another alternate airport.
So you landed and your passengers were expecting to be in this city and then you were in another city. What happened?
Those passengers are gonna be mad, huh?
But something that you guys have to know, it's we make these decisions based on safety.
True.
So we make this decision and we consider landing in this specific airport because in this case, because of wind shear, it's not a safe place to land. So we decided to go to an alternate airport, which is something close but not so close.
Something closer but with better weather.
With better weather conditions in this case. And we land there until we have better weather conditions in the destination.
Correct. So that comes to...
And then we go there, we get fuel, we check how's the weather looking at the destination. And then as soon as we think that it's safe to go back, then we make this flight. So it's one of the reasons why you will go to an alternate.
That's how your plan has changed, your flight has changed. It doesn't mean that we don't want to get you there. We have tried. It's just
we also want to go there.
Yeah, we have tried. It's just that the weather that we foresee is going to be deteriorating even more, even worse. So that's why how being the left seat. So can you imagine? I was the fresh out pilot in command, and then it gave me all those scenarios, but right after I get pulled into the gate, and then that is a veteran passengers. Yeah, he's a old grandpa, and he was like, "Who is the pilot?" And I was like, "Oh no, here we go." I'm expecting some scolding there, Yeah. And then he came up to me, and my flight attendant is like, "Yeah, she's our captain." And then the passenger was like, "Good job, girl. Thank you for landing it on the ground safely." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So safety is our most main concern.
Yeah.
Even though we know you guys want to go to this place, if safety is at some point in doubt, we're not taking the chance. We have a lot of people in the back, also ourselves, and
True.
We don't want to put risk in anybody.
Yeah.
So we just make the decision and go to that airplane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from that onward, that first officer, a young, fresh out captain, and then, he himself has quite a bit of a journey experiences in his flying career. So he can put himself so down and then work with me. And he, at the end of the trip, he was like, "Chin, I'll fly with you anytime." I was like, "Whoa, thank you so much." That experience really level me up again from making decisions, concise and sound decisions. Safety always comes first.
Yes.
And then how to, safety, how to make not just us, the flying or the plane and the passenger, but also everyone on the ground safely.
Yes.
And make sure that the show can still keep going.
And the last question that I have for you, Jess, you talk about flight training and private pilot and commercial and ATP. Did you have to do a degree to go to the airline, or did you have to go to the university, or what?
That can be our next episode.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today. Please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube, to our Spotify, also in our social media.
Instagram, TikTok, and then don't forget to hit the like, share button. And then
any questions that you have, please drop it down below in the comments. If you will have any topics that you want us to talk about.
Yeah, if you're interested about like why this, why I'm getting a hotel voucher.
Why is my flight delayed?
Why my pilot has the timeout. Why?
Yeah, I was leaving and then my pilot timeout, so we didn't have anybody. Well, we'll be answering those questions here.
Yeah, in the future.